What's up guys, Alex here. Welcome back to another video. Now today I'm going to show you some amazing battery saving tips that you can enable on your Samsung Galaxy phone that don't compromise on the performance of your phone. We paid a lot of money for our phones and the last thing we want to do is bring down the refresh rate or the resolution of the screen or just hamper the performance in any way. So in today's video I'm going to show you how you can improve battery life without sacrificing performance. Let's get into it. All right, now the very first thing you're going to want to do to improve your battery is go into your phone settings, scroll down to display, and if you have your phone in light mode, go ahead and set it into dark mode because all modern phones have OLED displays and any part of your display that's completely black, these pixels will be off entirely. And as you're using your phone over the day, scrolling around, using the phone, interacting with your applications, that is slowly going to add up to save you lots of battery over the day. All right, for this next battery tip, we're gonna go back into settings, scroll down to battery, select battery protection and enable this feature, and I'll choose between these options right here. So by default, it'll be set to basic, which what it says is when your phone charges to 100%, it will let the battery level drop to 95 before charging it over again. Now, if you're going to use this basic setting, I highly suggest you go ahead and enable this feature alongside it. And what this will do is stop your charging at 80% while you're asleep and finish charging to 100% just before you wake up. So the way this works is if you have a consistent sleeping schedule and maybe you wake up at 7 a.m. Monday to Friday to go to work, your phone will learn your habits and it will know when your alarm is set and it will keep your battery at 80% throughout the night, and just before you wake up, it will let it charge to 100. Now, the reason that this is good for batteries is because lithium-ion batteries don't like to be on either end of extremes. They don't want to be above 80% and they don't want to be under 20%. They like to be in a healthy middle. So if every night you're going to sleep and you're charging your phone to 95 and 100%, if this isn't enabled, you're putting a lot of stress on the battery. But enabling this is definitely going to help with the longevity of your battery life. So if you have a consistent sleep schedule, this is definitely a great setting. Now, if you're planning on keeping your phone for a really long time, maybe 5, 6, 7 years down the road, and you want to maintain the best battery health possible over the long term, you might want to enable this maximum setting right here, and you can set it between 80 and 95%. And if you set it to 80%, for example, your phone will never charge past 80%. So if you're finding that you're able to get a full day's worth of use out of your phone, even at these charge capacities, you should definitely go ahead and enable this feature. All right, next we're just going to go back to the battery settings again, select battery saving, tap on these three dots over here and go to adaptive power saving and enable this feature. This is kind of hidden away, so it is a little bit of a secret, but essentially what's going to happen is when you turn this on, your phone will automatically make power adjustments based on your usage patterns. And this is a really convenient setting because your phone will just make all the decisions for you. If you're having a really intense usage day, maybe you're gaming a lot or using the GPS, or maybe you're having a really light use day, it will make all the power adjustments on its own. So definitely just set it and forget it and let your phone do all the hard work for you. Now, one really cool setting that Samsung brought with One UI 7 to their phones is the ability to see your wallpaper on your always-on display. So if I lock my phone, you can see that the always-on display will turn on, but the background wallpaper still shows up. It just dims a little bit, and that looks really nice. If you want to just see that in the background, maybe you have pictures of your kids or just a really cool background, this looks really cool. But the problem is, this is going to use a lot more battery life because our phone spends hours and hours of our day with the always-on display on. And if you have a whole background here, that is definitely going to eat up a lot of battery life. So what I suggest is you go back to the legacy way of having an always on display where it is just a black screen with the clock, date, notifications, and your widgets. And to enable this, what you want to do is go into your phone settings, scroll down to lock screen and always on display, tap always on display, and right there, disable this feature that says show lock screen wallpaper. And now when we go to our always on display, what you're going to see is it is completely blacked out and we can just see our time, date, our widgets, and any notifications on our phone. And because the screen is black, it is of course going to use a lot less battery over the day. And if you want to take this even a step further, this always on display is of course still using battery because it's always on, but maybe you only want it to be on when you need it to be. So what you can do is go back into those settings and here under when to show, set it from always to tap to show. And now when we go to our always on display, you're going to see that it's completely black. It is not using any battery at all. But if I ever want to check the time, the date, or see if I have any notifications, I can just tap on my screen. You can see everything will show up. I can check in on my phone. And after a few seconds of inactivity, it will just dim again. And now we're back to saving battery life again. The next battery saving tip is to go into our phone settings, go to display, and find screen timeout right there. Now, mine is set to 5 minutes just because I don't want my screen constantly timing out and locking on me during these YouTube videos, but you're gonna wanna set yours between 15 and 30 seconds because you don't want your screen to just be on for no reason, and you want your phone to go to sleep and save battery life. And while you're in here, make sure to enable this option that says keep screen on while viewing, because it can also be annoying if your screen just keeps dimming on you while you're looking at your phone. Maybe you're reading a long article or you're looking at a photo. You don't want your phone to constantly keep dimming and locking on you and you have to keep tapping on it. Well, this setting will help prevent that. So now you have the best of both worlds. You're saving as much battery as possible, but you're also not being annoyed by the screen constantly timing out and locking on you. All right, guys, next what we're gonna do is go into our settings, scroll down to device care right there. And right here where you see performance profile, you can set it from standard to light. And what this is going to do is prioritize battery life and cooling efficiency over processing speed. Now, I know in the beginning of this video, I said we're not going to do anything that's going to affect the performance of your phone, but I have been using my phone in the light performance profile ever since the Galaxy S23. So it has been over 2 years. And honestly, as long as I have been using my phone in this light profile, I have not noticed any degradation to any aspect of performance to my phone, to the point that I don't even know if this is actually doing anything. And if you're a big mobile gamer and you're worried about how this can affect your gaming, don't worry about it, because right there it says this setting doesn't apply to games. So if you want to prioritize your battery life, you can definitely go ahead and set this to the light performance profile. And don't worry about it, your performance on your phone is still going to be top notch. All right, next we are going to go back one in the settings, and right under performance profile, you're gonna see auto optimization. Select that, go to auto restart, and just enable this feature that says restart when needed. And as you can imagine, this is going to do exactly what it said. If your phone ever feels like it needs a reboot, maybe something isn't working properly in the background, maybe some processes are just bogged down, it will restart your phone and make things start working normally again, because your phone is like a computer, and every now and then your computer needs a restart. Sometimes things just stop working, and after you restart it, you'll notice that things are normal again, and your phone is the same. Now, if you want, you can also schedule the reboots on your own, so you can select which days of the week you want the phone to reboot, and then select the time, maybe while you're sleeping, and now your phone will just reboot on a schedule. Now, I prefer to let my phone do the thinking for me. If it thinks that it needs a reboot, I'll just let it go ahead and do the reboot and keep things running as smooth as possible. All right, guys, now for this last setting, what we're going to do is create a routine that will help our phone keep as much battery as possible if we forget to plug it in at night. So what we're gonna do is go into our phone settings, swipe down to modes and routines, tap on this routines tab right here, and then hit the plus icon to create a new routine. Now in this if section, tap the plus button, hit the search bar, and look for time period right there. And I'm going to set this to when I'm asleep. So I go to bed at around 11:30, sometimes 12 a.m. So I'll just set it to 12 a.m. like that. And then I'm gonna set up my wake up time, which is around 7 a.m. usually. So we'll set 7 a.m. And then down here, we'll select every day. And now just tap done. And then under the if section, hit the plus icon again. And this time, search for charging status. Select charging status and set it to not charging and tap done. Now we're gonna go to the then section and search for power saving. And select power saving and then set it to on and hit done and hit save. Now we're going to give our routine a name. I'm just gonna call it night charging. And if you want, you can also change the icon color or the icon itself, but I'm just gonna hit done and we're gonna save this routine. And that's it, we're all done. Now what's going to happen is every single day between 12 a.m. and 7 a.m., if our phone is not charging, so if I forgot to plug it in to charge at night, which happens to all of us every now and then, my phone will automatically turn on power saving mode to save me as much battery as possible over the night, so that when I wake up, I at least have some battery left and my phone will last as long as possible until I can get it to a charger, maybe when I get to work or in the car on the way to work. But there you go, guys. That's going to do it for this video of some Samsung Galaxy battery settings that you can enable that will help you save battery without sacrificing the performance of your phone. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, be sure to leave a like, subscribe for future videos to come, and I'll see you in the next one. Peace.